Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame reader for you. This is for July 19th, 2020. I will be presenting July 20th as well today. So this is for the 19th. The read in front of you is the one from the 20th. So I'm going to show you the pictures of the read from yesterday. Okay, so this is the read from July 19th. And this is the full read from July 19th. So you have a shot, you can follow it if you'd like. Okay, but this is a channeled read. For those of you not familiar, this is the read that's in front of you. I might film it separately, but just so you have it. Those of you not familiar, this is a 7-deck read for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. So that means that it affects the masculine within the feminine as well. This is also a general read, so if something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. There's a lot of energy on the table with 7 decks, so there'll be some messages that are for everyone and some messages that may be just for a few, and some might just be for one person. It just depends on what comes up. It is a channeled reading. It takes me several hours to do this. And of course, all my information is below if you should need anything. My website is twinflames3344.com, and my email, in case you need to send a message to me, is the same at gmail.com. I have a CD out there called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe. It is on iTunes, CD Baby, Google Play, and Amazon. And if you find it anywhere else, the money is not going to me. Those are the only 4 sites it's sold on. So if you find a place that's not supposed to be selling my music, please don't purchase from them. And again, thank you guys all for liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel. Please do so if you do like the content. Please share if you like it. It helps so much to spread the word and spread the codes that I'm sending out here so that more people can be awakened to their own codes. And so here we go. This is the read from July 19th, 2020, and that would be the 30 day. So the day is the 19, which is the sun, which is also a 1, which is very masculine energy. And the day adds up to 30, which is the 4 of Wands. So very much about structure and building, about union and home. And it is also a 3, which is a coming together, expressing yourself authentically, has to do with siblings as well, and just that happy-go-lucky, joyful person or feeling, the expression of joy. So the first read, the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, which is the main deck for the read, there's 7 decks. The other clarification decks are the Romance Angels. We have the Numerology deck, the Tarot Sexual Magic. We also have the Rider-Waite the mini deck, and the Gilded Tarot, and the Universal Golden Tarot. So the SIRIAN STARSEED is the main deck. It was done at 1:03 today or yesterday. Today is the 20th. And as I was clarifying, the number 77 came up as significant, and also F flames was coming up. So some people may be a little irritated with the twin flame journey, so saying F flames. But F for me also has to do with rising and dropping temperature of the human. So when their temperatures are rising, that has to do with the F. So F is also the energy of the phi, the PHI, which has to do with the need to recenter ourselves. So pi is the circle with a line down the middle, but it's centered and it's not outside the lines, whereas phi draws outside the lines, which is expansion, which then requires us to come back to center again. So there's actually an action needed when we see phi. There's an action needed to come back to center again, to ground and integrate what you've learned or what you've expanded on. Also 1-1 came up, which is 11, justice, which is just truth and balance. Let's see, 15 was coming up as well in some of the clusters of numbers that I have here, as well as 6, 41. 6 is the Lovers, 41 is the Ace of Cups, 9 the Hermit, and 23 the King of Wands. This one was done completed at 1:34 to 35 yesterday. 1 is the Magician, and 34 and 35 are the 8 and 9 of Wands. So 8 is a lot of back and forth energy, and then the 9 of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. We have, as far as the major arcana in this read, was the Lovers and the Chariot. And I always pull a few cards on either end. So we also had reflection and guidance yesterday. Reflection is like the Hermit, guidance is the Hierophant, And then we had 2 pentacles, 4 wands, and 3 swords. There were no cups in this read, and there were no cups in the read today either. So they're really staying out of their emotions yesterday and today. Very much in their wands in this read from yesterday, which has to do with action and desires. A lot of movement there and passion. And then we have the court cards of the Page of Wands and the Queen of Swords. And then also after the read, the Knight of Swords came up. The code line and the numbers were all about forgiveness and effort, so making an effort. We had triple 5s here, as well as double 4s and double 6s. So 4, 5, 6, the 4D, 5D, 6D will come up here. And triple 5s has to do with major changes. And that can be a lot of little changes. It doesn't have to be one big one. It can be a lot of little changes. And then the 4 double 4s is the 44 of the 4 of Cups, the grounding and integrating and mastering of love, but especially receiving of love. And then the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. And we also had 1 by itself, which is the Magician. The sequence 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, lay them straight. And that came up again today, actually. And 45, which is the 5 of Cups, which is the grieving card, or the being stuck at the Y in the road. And then 56, which is the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing. And the code line was associated with the number 5 again, which is expansion, freedom, change, the Hierophant as well. And it was all about forgiveness and effort. So it was also the 5 of Flames was coming up in that header. So that has to do with expansion and conflict and games. So there's a lot of 5 change and expansion energy that were coming up yesterday, revolving around forgiveness and making an effort. So it was coming up as Sophia's fidelity to the nth degree. So the feminine energy, the collective of the feminine, their fidelity to the nth degree times 2. So it's saying really important. Also, Thoth and Metatron were coming up there, dealing with the expansion of the Sophia fidelity, and the Fool with the broken seal. Sophia, also the words filth and fifth also came up. So that's just, the fifth is just expanding on 5 even more. Just very significant changes yesterday to the nth degree regarding conflict, quest, competition, and games, and perhaps foolishness and breaking the seal. And also CEOs were coming up here. So some of the stuff that was coming up online was Breath of the Wild, 5 Flames Trial, ORC2.com, the video, and Light 5 Flames using the 1 flame. And that really references from the SIRIAN Starseed deck the 6 of Wands, because it's 1 wand over 5. So leading the way. You may be leading 5 others, perhaps, or just the changes. Change and face the strain. So that's coming up now. If you extinguish this flame, you can light a new one, or you can start with a new one with fire arrow, or exit and then re-enter, then causing a reset. So that's a message for the twins. Another header that came up was 5 Nights at Freddy's, the full movie with a new ending. So there may be a new ending here, a different timeline. Also, the name Tony was coming up on that line. Another header was Dragon Force. Force, that word was coming up through the fire and flames. Tina S. Cover came up there. Another header was ir.sequentialbrandsgroup.com. And Form 8 came up on that line. Approval of executive officers, compensation. So CEOs may be in the headlines, and how much money they're actually making, and do they really deserve that, or are they allowed to take it when they're, they're laying people off and all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff could come up in the headlines. Another header is Proper Fit Clothing Company, with the rights of 2.5 p.m. surgical. Anyway, it was sewing instructions regarding surgical masks. Another header was 3 sides came up regarding, 3 different sites came up regarding Security and Exchange Commission, so there may be news about that as well. Specific companies that came up was NIO, also calculation of registration fees regarding the Security and Exchange Commissions, and also Change Healthcare, Inc. Another header that came up was FISERV, Inc. It was by Proxy Materials. Another header was specification on file encryption utility task. And it said administration with root access, so that references the root chakra, or an intruder who has broken into the system. And definitely the theft or deceit energies were coming up in the cards both today and yesterday. Protect confidentiality and integrity of files on remote server. So again, this is saying, you know, make sure you cover yourself in love and light every day, okay? It doesn't have to be like a something based on fear. Really all you need once you get your vibration up there to the 4 and 5D is the light of your energy and nature to protect you. So Wiktionary also came up here with the word of the day and the foreign word of the day. So rambunctious came up as boisterous, energetic, noisy, and difficult to control. And the foreign word was ATTI with the colon above the A. It was a type of German, and that means father, dad, grandfather, or forefathers could be coming up as well. So the acronyms that were coming up, or the codes from my code line, were FOL, as well as CE and FI. And FI is also Phi, PHI. And CE, of course, means European Standards in Common Era, or in other words, after death. But those definitions go into how I decipher my coding. So we come back to, there was a lot about polarities again, merging to the middle, like definitions of things, meaning the opposites, and then they cancel each other out. Like, it's like people and person all at once, the one and the all. All those kind of themes were coming up. And the need to center to the nth degree times 2, major time. So like Sophia and Phi were coming up, fire and water, which are opposites, you know, and son and daughter, and feeling like something's yucky, but then being finished or done as well. Soft and sharp came up, which can be 2 different things, and drama of the madman, and then the sea of one, and the people being all one. So the Sophia and the Phi, or in other words, the feminine energy needing to center, because they're expanding, major, it's saying be prepared, you need to pull yourself back to center, over and over and over again, with 5 of Wands, drama, conflict, quest, of one, of the people and the person, of the sea and the sea, because sea has to do with the Christ unity consciousness, the sea of the ocean, and the sea, the 2020 vision. And that was all at 2:30, which is the High Priestess and the 4 of Wands, the union energy as well. So the Sophia, and also literally SOFI was coming up, which is another way of spelling Sophia, another perspective. And the Metatron and Thoth were coming up because they can be seen as the same energy, and expanding through the madman, speaking their truth. The Emperor, the 4 was coming up, the complete and the one. The sea of emotions coming up for him, the drama, or the people and person all at once. Him being the one and being the all, like one and for all. Kind of like the 3 Musketeers coming up again as well. So Sophie's choice also comes up, and 5th, freedom, change, and expansion to the nth degree. The 5 of Wands, which is more of that, again, so it's to the nth degree. And the 4 of the Emperor, full of himself. The madman, crazy, the silly man. To seal 2 into 1, or merge the polarities. To speak, like in a very profound and commanding way. Speak something into existence of, in other words, what's in common. What we all have in common, the oneness of us. So we start this first read yesterday, and Spirit's connecting with me now. 8 of Pentacles upright. Beneath that was reflection, or the Hermit reversed, and 6 of Pentacles upright, the 5 of Pentacles reversed, and then guidance, which is like the Hierophant, was reversed beneath the underlying energy. So here we go with working to align after over-isolating or sharing, settling out, recovering, in a break of contract, divorce, or just thinking outside the box, being more spiritual. Working with the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed. The 8 of Wands reversed, perhaps not expressing their feelings or frustrations, jealousy, unhappiness in a heated exchange or multiple heated exchanges. 2 people perhaps not on the same page, with the 5 of Swords enemy or the war within yourself. Deception and betrayal of bleeding out, hearts broken, and the Page of Cups upright, the message of love, a friend or child trying to bring together 2 opposing forces. What God has brought together, let no man put asunder. or a child with a bodyguard with no feelings, no affection, because they're there to protect you only. It's a job. It's about truth, but without love, right? It's a job. They're not allowed to show their emotions. Without sets of legs, protecting the vulnerable from self by taking a stance. It's like it's like this bodyguard standing in their truth, right? Without love. And I always use that quote from two popes about the fact that if you use truth without love, it can be very excruciating. So it's always important for us to go through our life with that open heart, being in truth and love. But it's bringing up, for a reason, the bodyguard, that when you're in your job, you are not your true self, because you're putting a persona on. You're acting as a bodyguard, or you're acting in whatever your job is. You're not allowed sometimes to be your authentic self. So does that job actually resonate with you? That's coming up now. But also without using multiple sets of legs to help you, other people supporting you, other people doing the legwork, protecting the vulnerable from self by taking a stance about who you really want to be. Like, do you want to be your authentic self, or do you want to be this persona that you've created over your lifetime? Getting pleasure out of, this is someone also, the bodyguard energy, when they're not in love, is someone who can take pleasure out of taking others down under the guise of protecting the innocent. So again, the bodyguard is protecting the innocent one, but is this bodyguard actually a nice person? They may not be. They may actually get joy in hurting people, and that's why they do that job as a bodyguard. And that's fine if that's authentic to who they are, because then it suits them. So I think that's what Spirit's trying to get through to you. It doesn't matter whether the job it appears to be good or bad to someone else. It doesn't really matter. It has to do with what job is authentic to you. So if your authentic personality, it gets pleasure out of hurting other people, then that job may suit you. So justifying being an asshole and not having a heart, causing right knee pain in the youth. So here it was coming up where someone who's close to you, who may be protecting you, and it could be a parent or a sibling or a relative who's doing this, but this is someone who enjoys doing this also, may actually, because they're close to you, cause knee pain in the person they're protecting. And that can be your own child as well, because it's the same DNA. So don't forget, whatever you do affects your children directly through the DNA. It's energetic, all right? So you can't do anything as an adult without affecting your child directly. So if you're lying in your relationship in front of your child, you can't hide it from them, not only because they feel it, but because your DNA connects to them. So if you use that aspect of your DNA, then it's going to be reflected in your child as well. So you're literally, this man who's acting out in an aggressive way without love, it's an anger thing. And then it's saying here that can then cause right knee pain in your child. It's literally reflecting your anger in your child. So this was coming up. It's not just always about you and how it affects you. The things you do does affect the people around you. Your child carries all your DNA, including your vengeance DNA, your revenge DNA, the tip of the sword right under the kneecap, covering up legs and feet on the beach, trying to protect them from the sun, suntan lotion, condoms, birth control, blocking the sun, blocking your sustenance, trying to keep perpetrators away from their young by cover-ups. And then again, that's a lie. Cutting off the heads of the parents because they are deemed unworthy, and putting their child on a pedestal, putting your child first, not honoring your own inner child, because all adults are children as well. Cutting off their nose to spite their face. You pass your issues, your DNA to your kids, working hard for kids who don't appreciate it, or taking down all that you've done or worked for by contradicting yourself. Do what I say and not as I do. The sun is reversed, drained, sick, tired, too hot, or overexposed. Getting seasick, or you can't swim. No peace to be found with the Hierophant reversed and the Taurus reversed in a break, divorce, spirituality, or alternative views. someone who thinks outside the box, a new perspective, drawing outside the lines, the phi. All is up to the student, the opportunity to learn, to study the gold coin, the unity consciousness, sacrificing for the child. All right, so they're not saying that's good. They're saying to recognize what you're doing isn't being authentic, and it's not showing your child a good example when you sacrifice for the child as opposed to being authentic to yourself and loving your child. They're two different things. Putting all the hard work and protection as an obligation. So when you do this and you aren't real to your child because you're being the adult and protecting them and feeding them and clothing them and giving them money and all that kind of stuff, by lying to them in order to sacrifice for them, you're then making them obligatory to you. So the protection as an obligation of the child. So you do this if you do this for me. So that now your child is going to feel obligated to you through student loans and caring for their elders, etc. So 309 is the 3 of the Empress and self-expression. 9 is the Hermit, of the one who goes within and sacrifices. Pay attention to the red flags. I mean, they can both be sacrificial, okay? So we have the Empress, who's more outward, and then the Hermit, which is more inward, but they can both do those things in a sacrificial way. Pay attention to the red flags, which has to do with your signs and synchronicities, and then flirt was also coming up beneath that. So what are the red flags around you? You know, if you're not being authentic to who you are, or you're lying to your children because you say you're protecting them, you're also creating a karmic bounce back, right? But you're also creating an example of illusion to the child for them to then repeat. So dumping fantasies of home, union, and sex, or your sacral chakra being the foundation when it's not. Your root chakra is the foundation, right? Stability, which has to do with safety and security first, before you can be intimate with someone. With the Empress reversed, perhaps an evil mother or dark mother energy, or ill older person, or someone who's out of control, recovering from the King of Pentacles reversed, who's not Superman, he's just a man. Loss of money, with perhaps loss of money and status, or ungrounded, or it can be a greedy man as well. The Empress reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, recovering without an olive branch, without the bow, and no tiny violin. So no one feeling sorry for them, doing it themselves. Releasing himself from the mess that he got himself into, right? This is self-empowerment, allowing others to self-empower as well. Recovering from red boots, right? The person who walks all over you, the seals, the bugs, and the conch shells, the fleur-de-lis, the expensive fabrics, and no help. Just you don't bring me roses anymore. Using guilt and shame as a weapon. So change again comes up here. Change and face is strange. So change came up with the number 5, and beneath that was compassion, which is 99. So with change always comes compassion. You need to be compassionate for those who are stretching and growing, right? Feeling the pain and needing to stay present and go within. Insecurity, manipulation, lost tools or never had them to begin with. Receiving clarity, but also imbalance at the same time between the Magician reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who may be ungrounded or also greedy or dependent on others, or perhaps like being dependent on others. The King of Cups is also a good man, not just a water sign. It can be a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer person, but it's also representative of that good man, of the heart-based man, of unconditional love in the aftermath of drama, sudden events, epiphanies, or resistance to change. Death, end, dark night, transition through deception, or the hours before dawn, finding peace, juggling the rainbow, or keeping their eye on the prize with third party through work, or issues getting along at work, or dealing with money loss at work, or no job, or overworking. And the King of Cups could be a Scorpio, or juggling perhaps 2 Scorpios, one upright, one reversed, and or a Cancer reversed, only to find peace from 3 to 5 a.m. or at work. So obviously someone who's not finding peace at home. Working nights or a second job, waiting for their ship to arrive with safe passage, or a frog spying on where they're going at night, or listening to someone sleep talk to find out information to use on them. What's actually bringing them peace because they're not speaking their truth? Why are they smiling? Like, what's the smile on the King of Cups' face? He's not telling me. Issues at the workplace or getting coworkers or kids to do their part, or protecting kids from people at work, but the King of Pentacles unable to, now realizing they're unable to always protect them, right? Because your kids leave you. You can't protect them when they move or when they walk across the street. When they're adults, that's their job to protect themselves. So things have changed between them, or the Page of Pentacles child, happy, good student, and the King of Pentacles. It was, well, first of all, the King of Pentacles unable to, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. That's obviously a father of the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is upright, a good student. But the King of Pentacles is reversed and the Queen of Pentacles is reversed. The parents who are sacrificing for that Page of Pentacles child. Things have now changed between them. Or the Page of Pentacles child is happy and good student, but the parents are both unhappy and are in debt up to their eyeballs for college and such. The recent past is the Chariot upright. In a bold move to go forward, the Empress reversed and the High Priestess both reversed, and these can represent partners or siblings. And the Emperor's upright here. So the Empress and the Emperor are not getting along. And misery loves company, so the Empress reverse has the High Priestess reverse with her, which they come up as the old biddies sometimes in these reads. But they can just be two older sisters or two older partners, but they're coming up as feminine. The High Priestess doesn't have to be feminine. But the Emperor's upright and they're not. So feminine energies in lack and the need to use their intuition, or old biddies with their prejudices, because a lot of people from the early on in the century still have a lot of prejudices that we're not used to, right? And the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction in the family, or partnered with and connected to the Page of Cups and the King of Swords in an awakening, or agreeing to disagree. The King of Swords and the Page of Cups are in their truth and partner or connection withholding their dysfunction or their financial loss or family loss of the Emperor. The King of Swords presenting the whole truth, and the Emperor upright is with the Empress reversed and the High Priestess reversed, withholding money, time, and effort, or a new life back from this King of Swords. He's in his upright, and this was all at 333. The women may not agree with the Emperor's decision, but may fall in line due to the old ways of doing things, right? That the Emperor has the last say. He's the one in power because he's the man of the family. And then we're at 335, which is the Empress, and the 35, which is the Wounded Warrior, the Nine of Wands. The foundation here is the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated child, or just frustrated adult as well, but has to do with frustration. That could be the message that's received from an adult, or it can be a frustrated child, perhaps a child who has temper tantrums, or someone who's uninspired or sick, or difficult kids, or past memories, not sleeping and rising above, awakening to breakup or lack of affection or no love from kids or partner. The battle is over or lost the fight or game, or they're just over it, the injustice of it, the devil's deception. Gemini reversed, Cancer upright and reversed, Taurus reversed, Pisces reversed, Libra reversed, Capricorn upright and reversed, and Aries upright and reversed. So they could be two people or one person going back and forth between their negative and positive energies. The central energy here is the Lovers reversed. No lover, a breakup, or no affection, lacking faith in ending pain, or a painful ending, betrayal, or in the awakening, fell or fell to their death, or now in great pain, dark night of the soul, deception, the early hours before dawn, suffering in silence, or dealing with your sister. The challenge being the Five of Wands reversed, losing battle, ending the fight, not competing, or no zest for life, no quest without love. And this could be someone realizing, like once a partnership breaks up, that was just there for stability, or one person was still in love and the other person wasn't, then after the relationship breaks up, realizing that all they were working for isn't bringing them satisfaction at all, because when they're not working for love or for the love of their children, right, to support them and sacrifice for them, there's no satisfaction in it anymore. The Knight of Wands reversed, player fell short or holding back their true desires, and the Queen of Wands reversed may be pretending to be happy on her own, or the Divine Masculine happily unaware that the Queen of Wands reversed and or the Knight of Wands reversed is stealing, lying, or cheating, or taking away from the Hermit reversed. Perhaps a parent with dementia or a mental illness who someone's taking advantage of, and that can be a sibling or someone who's around them. Or it can just be someone who they're deeming to be crazy, but they're not, someone who's over-isolating or coming out and stealing before they come out with it to the family. So this can also be a couple where they're stealing from the house while they can still get away with it because they're still in the house before the other person comes out about it to the family. The Divine Masculine without options or dumping emotional attachments, and the Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands both reversed are defenseless in the situation, or defensive to lying and spying and negative talk, or naysayers, the silent treatment, or choosing a new path but clinging, not allowing the full transformation until the prisoner or the person with anxiety is released from that anxiety, fear, or prison. There's no peace after jealous rage, with the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth, and the King of Pentacles reversed, saying that talk is cheap, like I want to see the evidence here, dumping emotional attachments in order to be happy, defenseless to the Scrooge energy of the King of Wands reversed, clinging to the world, to completion, to the sealed divine feminine, refusing love, and the Knight of Cups reversed. That can be the one refusing love, or someone who's jealous or envious or just really moody. Okay, so we have a Knight of Wands reversed and a Knight of Cups reversed, which are like two teens or in their 20s, you know, out to take down some people. Those could be one-night stand people or people you just can't trust, you know, kids who get themselves into trouble. So now in the crowning position for the masculine is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, withholding or just delays in new life or money, time, and effort or getting a loan. The Queen of Swords reversed, withholding, Queen of Swords reversed from sharing or settling out. The Six of Cups upright, which is the children in the garden loving each other. They're giving love to each other. And the Knight of Cups upright, confessing their love, starting over, powerless, with dependent or with financial drains, the loss of power, money, or independence of the masculine, and presenting truth while holding back the rest. 2, the patient angel, who may have been losing hope, depressed, or arrogant, as the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands reversed were betrayed, or they betrayed, in a harsh truth here, the third party getting their wish of dumping all their emotional attachments and letting go of those, you know, who aren't expressing positive energies. The Queen of Cups moving on to help the King of Cups reversed, released from energy vampires and are frustrated or unable to conceive announcements, judgments, or this information about this twin flame journey, and may not have been able to understand the wake-up call, destined, without lover or without affection, dumping one lover or both, or no longer protecting one from the other. Libra upright, Aquarius upright, and Gemini reversed, so they're all air energies here, and the King of Pentacles reversed with the King of Wands reversed, and you notice there's 2 kings reversed together in a pair, and then there's an Empress and a High Priestess reversed, and this could be sisters or brothers sticking together, or the men or the women sticking together, or this can literally be 2 couples where they're both mad at each other, so the women are sticking together and the men are sticking together, so whatever the situation. The King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands reversed, dumping on one that they betrayed, but the Queen of Cups is still getting her wish, even though she may be the one they're dumping on, and then moved on to help the King of Cups reversed with frustration and judgment. So now she's not being affected by the kings trying to hurt her, and on top of that is helping the King of Cups who's reversed with their frustration or judgment issues or loss of affection that was destined. Soon is the 4 of Swords reversed, rising above, perhaps not sleeping, but awakening to the 10 of Cups who may be clinging or hoarding, and the wounded warrior reaping rewards of working too hard, right? Everyone expecting them to do the work, and that's 937, which is the Hermit and the King of Cups. So the Hermit and the King of Cups presently choosing path or resisting new ships coming in and staying with the old, the wounded warrior, while reaping everyone else doing the work. Someone may be staying in a situation because now all of a sudden they don't have to do a thing. They don't have to lift a finger because they've gotten everyone else to do it for them. Or employees are way overworked and on their last legs, Atlas and Hercules about to give up, or take a break, or literally break. He sees himself, the masculine, as the Five of Swords. In this card, the SIRIAN Starseed deck is very much about the frog becoming the prince, the growing pains of that expansion, and their world complete but uncomfortable with destiny, or the divine feminine uncomfortable with destiny or Libra, needing courage in the aftermath of suffering in silence or dealing with a sister, after the nightmare, making a bold move to complete the cycle or connect with the divine feminine. The cards that came up for the masculine here were release your ex, also deception. Okay, so that's for the masculine. Release your ex and deception. With Leo reversed, Scorpio reversed, Cancer upright, Pisces upright, Libra upright right here. Around the masculine, or how he's seen, or it might be seen, is the Queen of Swords reversed. On the journey to the present moment, so back to the present instead of back to the future. Back to the present, defenseless to the energies and attacks, the Queen of Cups is upright, focusing on her heart, and the Knight of Swords chasing her with the truth, or heartbreak and separation. The Queen of Cups is over the journey, and the Knight of Swords over the presence, defenseless in the mud, getting buried deeper and deeper. The blocks here for the masculine are the Seven of Wands reversed, falling off the horse or wagon again, the player falling short, or working too hard to hold back their true desires, and coming together at the workplace to recover or let others back in to help them recover so they don't have to do all the work. Defenseless to the injured and recovering, or someone might just be addicted to being the savior, so they can't resist going back to work even if they're overworking. They want to help anyone who calls them who needs help. So effort comes up in here, and forgiveness, and even more so adventure for the masculine. The King of Cups reversed, no longer flirting or allowing it while he is at the helm. No lovers, no affection at work, leading five or a group, or changes to get over death and transition or complete the cycle of jealousy, insincerity, rejection, and refusal to give or receive love, or moody Pisces or Scorpio here. Like the King of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed. So one can be a Pisces, one can be a Scorpio. Or they could both be one or the other with both signs in their chart. So ending the battle between father and child. The good news, withholding, playing ball, or delaying a new beginning at home to return to stability, or to save enough to go on a journey, or fix the home. So somebody could be saving up their money. The twin org, just go on the twin flames journey. The emperor performing at high vibration, and them overwhelmed, or then crashes or purges, or moved to tears by a performance. Choosing the path of the divine masculine's heart in the Batcave, the messenger of truth with the 5D messages to the wounded warrior, and working to align with those messages. The the Eight of Pentacles upright is working to align after over isolating or settling out or sharing, and recovering and boldly moving or traveling. The Page of Wands reversed, frustrated and with growing pains, with the Queen of Swords reversed, moving, traveling without a lover or without affection, and challenged by the losing battle, rising above, awake and defenseless at once, all at once, withholding and leading, the new path and the heart path from the divine masculine's Batcave, the 5D messenger to the wounded warrior, and chipping away at 10:01, which is the reflection, the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. At 10:02, which then is the High Priestess, working with crystals outside the E-Tower of the Divine Feminine's heart, of the Chariot or Cancer third party through work, or moving the workplace. So frustrated child in a breakup without affection, withholding and challenged by a losing battle, or no longer fighting or competing with one another. Growing up and rising above, awake with good news for the Queen of Swords reversed, who may be defenseless to the journeyman or the twin flame, in the Batcave sending 5D messages to the wounded warrior. Getting ducks in a row, working out the details of breaking up and the journey, with no affection, no fight, and no sleep, but defenseless to the growth, and withholding on the journey to get the word to the wounded warrior. All right, so this is the read from yesterday. It's 39:42. 39 is the Knight of Cups, and 42 is the Two of Cups. All right, so I'm going to pull an energy card for you, and then I'm going to end this video, and I'll start a new video for the read for today. Okay, so what is the energy? What is the takeaway from this first read? It's heavy. It's very heavy energy in this read. Happy family. Okay, so the 4 was the Emperor upright in this read? I think the Emperor was. But we have the 4 of the happy family here. Let's see if I can see where that Emperor was. No, actually, yeah, the Empress was reversed. And the Emperor, I think the Emperor was upright in this read, if you can remember what I said, but it's definitely upright in this second read as well. We also have indecision, so this is standing at the Y in the road, that 5 of Cups, which is also upright in this read. So the Emperor standing at the Y in the road, not making a decision, okay, which is what the problem is, because that causes the fear, that causes the disconnect from self. All you have to do is make a choice. It doesn't really matter which direction, because you'll be redirected once you make that choice to make another choice, okay, if it's not serving your highest purpose. Okay, so and then we together we have the 4 and the 8, which is the 8 of Cups, walking away and within. Okay, so the bottom of the deck here from this first read is storm warning. So this is about that storm coming in, being ready to pull back to center when you need to. This is the expansion energy. Okay, remember to come back to 0 point every time you expand. Okay, so make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, and rise and be love, guys. I'll be back in a second. Rise and be love. Bye.